Hello, hello, hello. How are you, Hannah?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm really good. Thank you so much. We had my son's orientation at school today, so yeah, pretty good. Got to meet his teacher. Extra hot today. Is it hot outside? That you're in Missouri, right?
Yeah, it's been hopping back and forth between like hot and cool, but it just kind of hopped back up to hot. So,
Yeah, that's what it did to us too today. It's back to hot today. It was
yeah.
doing that. It was like a little breezy. I don't know if it was a storm or something out in the Gulf, but it was a little breezy a little bit the last couple of days. Can you tell everybody your first and last name? Um, Tell us where you are. I know you're in Missouri, the city, and then tell us the name of the place, and just we'll talk about what you guys do there.
Yeah,
Grappling, I
my
know,
name
right?
is Hannah Zeciri. My name is Hannah Zeciri, and my gym is Black Diamond Grappling Club, and we are located in Bevier, Missouri.
Can you tell me like the name? How'd y'all get the name Black Diamond?
Oh,
It's so easy
yeah,
to remember.
so Bevier used to be like an old coal mining town. It was like the coal mining capital of like the county and stuff.
Yeah.
So Black Diamond is like another term for coal.
Oh, it
So
is.
you'll
I didn't
drive
know.
down yeah. So you'll drive down the street and you'll see like the Black Diamond Museum, which has got like the history of the town and everything.
Okay.
And literally like I don't know, like just right across the street is a railroad, but they used to have like tons of coal mines and everything. And when we were coming up with it, we thought, it'd be cool and it'd be recognizable. And then I kind of like was playing around with the logo. And I don't know if you've seen our gym's logo. It's like a little yellow canary wearing a gas mask.
Yeah, yeah.
And they used to like send canaries down in the coal mines. And if the canary died, then they knew it was unsafe conditions. So they needed to get out. So
Okay.
I was like, well, let's put the little bird in a mask so he doesn't die. And that's
It's
kind of
very
how we got
unique and easy to like identify. Right, right.
yeah.
I like it.
So
There's all kinds of stuff you can do with black diamond, right?
yeah,
Just a black diamond is cool enough. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so you guys do grappling. Tell me what you mean by grappling. I know you do jujitsu. Is it wrestling as well, or just tell me
So
about everything y'all do there?
yeah, so my main classes are we do jujitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I've got like a little kids class. We call that the ninjas. It's for my 3 and 4 year olds. It's kind of like an intro into the world of grappling. And then I've got another class. It's my warriors class. It's 5 to 12 year olds. Strictly for them right now, it's just gi jujitsu. We haven't really dabbled in no gi yet, just because the number of classes. And then my teen and adult fundamentals class, we do 1 day of no-gi and 2 days of gi. But I think
Okay.
the consensus is like nobody likes no-gi.
Oh, really? I've
Yeah,
never
I
heard of
know
that.
because most of my parents, like most of the people I've got are moms and dads, and are like, oh, I don't like this. This is yucky. So
But what about the kids? Do they like no gi or gi better there at your place?
I think the kids. So we just had some kids go to the first tournament, and they most of them all did gi. One little guy did no gi, and he just likes everything. But his older brothers were like, no, I don't know about this no gi stuff. So I still think it's a toss up.
Yeah, usually you hear them say they like no-gi better because it's less hot. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
one reason. Yeah. So that's interesting. That's funny.
And we will be like adding wrestling. So my
Okay.
kids wrestle and everything, but my kids are now in middle school and high school, and a lot of the kids at my gym were interested in wrestling because they've seen my kids. So I'm gonna get our club like chartered through USA Wrestling. I'm gonna start working on that next month, so I can kind of take the little kids who already train jujitsu with us to wrestling tournaments and everything. So
Okay. Oh, that's okay. That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. One of the academies close to us is really into wrestling, and then their kids wrestle at school. Yeah. Do your kids wrestle at school as well?
yeah, my daughter's going to be a sophomore in high school, and my son's going to be an eighth grader. So he still gets to kind of do the youth wrestling, but my daughter's just strictly, high school wrestling.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And my brother wrestled in high school. Well, tell me, I heard 3 to 4, and I always am like, yay for 3. because I have a 3-year-old daughter. She's about to start as soon as she's out of diapers. So, yay for you for doing 3-year-olds. What is that like? The three, that's an interesting, I don't know if I've ever heard 3 and 4, like two ages only. I think I've heard of like the kids class. I know that was like 5 to 12 for you, I think.
Yep.
Like also including 3 at the very youngest, but not like a separate one for like 3 and 4. How
Yeah, so
how is that class? You have fun in that
it's
one?
it started off like 3 to 5, and then I got like some
Yeah,
5-year-olds in, but they were just so much bigger and like they were just really big compared to the 3 and 4-year-olds. So I'm like,
yeah.
okay, we'll just bump you up because I have some really small, like 6, 7, 7-year-olds. And I'm like, okay. And then I just kept getting parents like, hey, I have a 3-year-old. Hey, I have a 3-year-old. And I'm okay, I guess we're doing 3 and 4-year-olds. So that's
Yeah,
just kind of, we just switched to 3 and 4-year-olds.
yeah. I bet like a lot of them were like siblings of others, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've had a lot of siblings, but I've had just like
Just
single
coming
parent,
up.
like parents with single kids just reach out and are like, oh, I think this would be cool for my three and
Yeah.
4 year old.
And it is if you can accommodate that because it's like gymnastics in a way for them,
Yeah.
right? It's like
Yeah.
similar. Yeah, the way they start out in gymnastics is like maybe similar to the way they start out the kind of activities they might do in jujitsu. Um, yeah, so that's cool. Tell me about like what about the oldest person you've ever trained? I've been asking that. I don't know if you've heard me ask that, but the record is 78, and I just say that because some people think they're too old. So
I have a 71-year-old in my class right now,
wow,
and
cool.
I've been training since last November. I keep track of like all the students' classes, and he's trained with us. He's had 88 classes, and he's like survived cancer. And he
Wow.
came, like, he reached out to me, and he's like, "Oh, me and my grandson want to train." And I'm pretty sure he wanted to train more than the grandson.
Oh,
But
wow.
Matthew brings his grandson, and they come and they have a good time training. And
Awesome.
most of my class, my adult class is like 30 plus anyway. So
30 plus. Oh, the age,
yeah,
age. Yeah,
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 the age,
got it.
yeah, it's like moms and dads. I had got one guy who's like 22, but everybody else is like 30 and up in that class with some
Mhm,
teenagers.
mhm.
So
Tell me where you guys are in Missouri. You were telling me before we started. Give people an idea.
yeah, so we're in the northern part of Missouri. One of the big cities is Columbia, Missouri. You go an hour north and you'll hit Macon, Missouri, and that's a town of about 5,500 people. And that's actually where I grew up. I went to high school and everything there. And then if you go 5 miles to the west on Highway 36, you'll find Bevier. It's like the only thing around is like a Love's. And then
Loves.
I
Okay.
live like 5 miles away from the gym. But yeah, we're just right in between Kansas City and St. Louis.
You guys get any tornadoes? Tornado
Yeah,
Alley in a way, right?
I mean, I feel like we're kind of like a little bit safe, but yeah, like Columbia gets it, and I feel like everybody around us gets it, but I don't feel like we see it too much.
A little more north than
Yeah, yeah,
where they
yeah.
get. Yeah, yeah.
The
Okay.
north.
Um, yeah, I saw the Joplin documentary.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the documentary. It's really
yeah.
good. Yeah. Well, I guess it's on Netflix. I don't know. Maybe it's on Amazon. Can you tell me like your philosophy in teaching jujitsu, kind of like, the way you go about teaching, um, the method, if you will?
Yeah, so like when I first started, it was really like we warm up, we drill. It was very like traditional, like how jujitsu classes are. And I just felt like it was really like hard to get people to connect and like start thinking for themselves because they were just asking me like, what comes next? What comes next? What comes next? And
Okay.
like I don't really like with the kids and stuff, we do a lot of like the games. So like we'll warm up, we'll do like takedowns every class. So, like I feel like every class we do takedowns, wrestling takedowns, judo takedowns, because with the kids and stuff, you never know when a bully's gonna come get them.
Mm,
And I'm like, we're going to focus on takedowns. And with my kids, I do a lot of games and stuff like that. Like, I'll teach them the submissions and we'll spend a little bit of time drilling. But I'm like, you guys have to think for yourself. Cause I'll have kids be like, what do I do next? What do I do next? I'm like, this is what we're doing, but I need you to start thinking for yourself. So I just really want like the people who come to us to start being creative and thinking, and I show them like all the stuff, but once it's time to go live or situational, it's like you got to start thinking for yourself. And then
Yeah.
my adults is a little bit different. We do the takedowns. Even my 71-year-old guy, he's learning singles and doubles, and we're doing the takedowns. And then adults, we spend a little more time drilling, and then we jump into like the situational and live. But I think the overall would be like trying to create people who they're not exactly like me, because I don't want a whole bunch of people that roll like me and like everybody's like top heavy. Like I like to play like pass and be on top. I don't want somebody to just pass and be on top because Coach Hannah says pass and be on top. If you like want to be on the bottom, I want you like to um start working your own game and stuff like that. And we're really laid back here at the gym. So like if somebody has questions, like I don't care. Like it's not formal, like where you have to bow and be scared to ask the coach questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So do you kind of start with like the way you teach now? Do you kind of start with showing them the move, but then
yep,
kind of add in that be creative when they are
yep.
practicing it? Is that how
Yeah.
you're doing it right now?
Yeah, yeah. So like think about like with my takedowns. Takedowns is probably is a lot easier to explain than like the submissions and stuff. I'll show the kids the single legs. We show them the double legs and everything, and like several different finishes. But I don't want every kid doing the same finish if they know like four. I said pick your like top two, and I want you to work those over and over and over again. So like
Okay.
you might see some kids, tree topping them. You might see some kids finish in a different way, but they're all still doing single legs. And
Yeah.
then if I've got like a little guy who's just not really picking it up, I'm like single leg. You grab one leg and you pick it up as high as you can, and you just try to take them down.
Okay. Okay. What about like can you go over like one or maybe two of the types of games that you guys do?
For like wrestling, my big one is like toe tag. So we'll start off like you got to get your stance and toe tag. And for the longest time, they just like try to get in there and they don't really understand like it's to develop their stance. They think they're just playing a game. And then they start to like pick it up, and the kids are like getting in stances, and they start to look a little better. And then we'll branch off to like, oh, you have to get in there and lock your circle around one leg or lock your circle around two legs. And then when we go to the ground, it'll be like, okay, here's your constraint for the day for this round to be like, oh, you're only allowed to do arm bars. I don't care what arm bar you do, but you have to pick an arm bar and try to do it. And so now I got kids like spamming arm bars left and right. So they're just going, going, going.
Yeah. What about you mentioned singles and doubles. What does that mean? Singles and doubles.
So like single legs, double legs, those are like our basic two
I get
takedowns.
it.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Takedowns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, takedowns.
Okay, got it. All right, well tell me your story. You
My
said, boy,
story.
do I have a story, right? Tell
Yep,
me your
I have
story.
a
How did you
story.
get into this and how's it gone over the years? How did you get to where you
So
are now?
yeah, so
Well,
I started martial arts back in 2002. It was right out of college. I was playing basketball, but it just wasn't going the way I expected. And a local Taekwondo school opened up in my town. And like I remember driving around the block, waiting, waiting, waiting for this school to open up. And it finally did. And I started training there. And then we flash forward like probably 2006 when like UFC started to get big. And the instructor was like kind of like dabbling around, showing us some grappling. And I'm like, ooh, this is really cool. But like he didn't
no,
really know anything.
and this is Taekwondo. Did you say it was
Yep.
Taekwondo?
It
Okay,
was
okay.
it's like
So it was
a
just
taekwondo karate blend. It wasn't
yeah,
traditional like Olympic style. It's kind of like a just a blended taekwondo.
sure, sure.
So he's showing us like Americana, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I saw like Hoist Gracie versus Matt Hughes, and I'm like, yo, this is awesome. I want to do this. And that's kind of like what got me started. And then it was about that time that my husband, who
Now, what
wasn't
were
my
you
husband,
interested in it because he was winning or the style? I mean,
I
because
just
you would
liked I
yeah,
just liked everything about like going to the ground and like
yeah,
just trying to make him tap out. And it was like, wow, this is not like Taekwondo. This is really cool. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do this.
yeah, yeah.
And then my husband, he actually had moved to Macon because of a restaurant. And he had done martial arts and everything since he was a little kid, like 3, like a little bit of judo, a little bit of karate, some boxing up at Pat Military's gym, some kickboxing and everything. So he actually came into the Taekwondo place and he started taking Taekwondo with us. And we actually started training together. I went down to Barnes and Noble and I found a book, Henzo Gracie's Theory and Technique. And I would like thumb through the pages and I'd be like, what can I do? What can I do? Like, I don't know why I didn't buy the book. I just would go down there and like look
Oh,
at the book. And I was like,
okay.
I can do this arm bar. And like,
You wouldn't buy it.
I went
Yeah,
back and
you
I
would go
showed it
there.
to him and I'm like, we're doing arm bars. And
Okay.
yeah, so we started with that. And then a little bit later, this guy named Wade, he was one of the founders of American Top Team. He actually moved to town. His kids, like he was from Florida. He moved up to Columbia and his kids played football there. And then after his kid graduated, he moved up to Macon. And there happened to be an attorney who trained Taekwondo with us. And he took Wade to my husband's restaurant. He's like, hey, let me introduce you to this guy. He's the founder, one of the founders of American Top Team. And Wade and my husband Brandon, they sat down and they talked for like ever. And as Wade was leaving, he just happened to back into my husband's car and he was like, I'm sorry,
Oh,
like we can fix something up. And Brandon's like, no, it's cool. Just show me and Hannah some like jujitsu and MMA stuff. And we got some lessons and that's kind of how we got started. And then Wade opened up a gym in Macon and my husband, he was training there. And this is like 2010. I actually didn't get to train because we got married and I was pregnant with our daughter. So Brandon's
mm,
training at the American Top Team. After our daughter's born in 2010, I'm like, dude, I need to get on the mat. So like, I think it was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks after my daughter was born. I'm like, hey, you got to start working with me on the pads with Wade. And he started showing me how to like hit the pads better. Like, cause in the Taekwondo we didn't really punch to the face, but I was interested in MMA and jujitsu and everything. And then, like I said, like I told you before, we were restaurant business and everything. Well, we ended up switching to a different business and we moved. So we didn't get to train with Wade anymore. And so we're
okay.
still just training on our own, figuring stuff out. But Wade actually, he gave us our blue belt um, before we ended up moving. So at that time, 2011, 2012 were blue belts. And then 2012, I started getting into, started to train for MMA. But I had my second child. So I had my second child in 2012. So I had to put that on hold. And
Okay.
then, yeah, so it's 2012, put it on hold. And then after my son was born, I really got to get back in to training jujitsu and MMA and I started fighting. I ended up having like 5 amateur fights,
Mm.
kickboxing match and a pro fight. And I thought that was like awesome. The whole while we're doing like jujitsu and everything. And then
Were you
we'll flash
implementing
forward.
jujitsu in the fights?
Yeah, went in with well, most of mine was striking, but it would like take him down, punch him,
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to submit him. I ended up submitting a couple girls, but it was like I used my Taekwondo background
yeah.
and my jiu-jitsu and stuff too. My wrestling wasn't good back then, like because we weren't really like into wrestling yet. It was just pretty bad takedowns. But let's go flashing forward to 2015. We actually moved back to Macon. My mom was sick with cancer. So we were like moving back so she could kind of spend time with the kids and everything. And while we were in Macon, we opened a gym up and, we started teaching people. We're only blue belts at the time, but like there's no place to train. Like you got an hour south to Columbia, Kansas City, St. Louis, and probably Des Moines was the closest. So like 4 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, and 1 hour. So there's like no place to train. So we have got a gym. We're training out of a fitness center, teaching people. We ended up upgrading a little bit.
So at this
Um,
point, it's kind of like a part of your like couple's
oh
identity, if you will, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the way you see like your life with him, right? Is that correct?
yeah. I mean, he trained martial arts since he was a kid, and I started in 2002. So like we spent a lot of time talking about martial arts.
Yeah,
We took our daughter whenever we were training with Wade at American Top Team. We took her in our car seat. She's going to classes. She's
yeah.
rolling on the mats. Like it's just all jujitsu and everything. So then, 2018, we've got our gym. We did get our purple belts in 2016 from a guy named Weiss, in New York. We actually met him because we made custom gear for gyms and stuff, and he
Mm,
wanted some patches to commemorate one of his friends that had passed. And so we made him some patches. We started talking. We ended up bringing him out, and we brought him out a couple times, and he ended up giving us our purple belts. So we still got our gym. And then let's see, 2018, I end up seeing on Facebook Mike Fowler, who's the third fastest American black belt. He's like looking for seminars around, and I reach out to Mike and I'm like, hey, we're in Missouri. He was in Texas, and he's like, yeah, I'll come up there. So
okay.
Mike starts coming up, and that's kind of how we got that relationship. That's actually who we ended up getting our black belts from, is Mike. But
Okay.
Mike's coming, he's popping into our gym. We still got the gym training people and making. This is like right before COVID.
And are you training MMA or jujitsu or?
At this time, it was just straight jiu-jitsu. I
Okay.
stopped doing MMA in 2016. It was just like I didn't really have a big gym. I didn't really have a manager. I tried to get like on some of the bigger cards, but it was like the promoters didn't want to bring other people in because it's just like super expensive to fly people in. Because
Sure.
I was like 5-0 as an amateur and 1-0 as a pro. And when I was fighting MMA, I would cut down from like 140 to 145 to 125.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm like, I do that over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So like
Wow. Wow.
I'm like 5'6", and so I'm significantly taller, and it was just really hard to get fights. So we
Yeah.
switched over to like just straight jiu-jitsu, which was probably for the best. Like I don't really love getting punched in the face and everything,
Yeah.
but yeah, so probably we're right around 2018. We end up closing the gym, move for another business, and then we move a few more times and we make it back to like this town we live in now. It's called Callio. It's like 5 minutes away from my gym, and we are living there and COVID hits, so we have no place to train. But we do know a guy who lives in Columbia, and he's actually like an all-American wrestler, and he was helping our kids learn wrestling, and he's on the USA beach world team. So he does beach
Okay.
wrestling now. He's a really great wrestler. And he's like, hey, you show me some jujitsu and I'll show you some wrestling.
So what
And I'm
is
like,
beach?
okay.
What is beach? Is that beach wrestling? Like wrestling
Yeah,
on
yeah,
in
he does
sand? Is that
beach
what that
wrestling.
is?
Yep, he does. He did traditional folk style and everything. That's what he did as a kid. But he does beach wrestling. And yeah, they got the circle, and you like try to like toss them out of the circle or take them down. So it's
Oh, I gotta
a
look
little
it
bit.
up. I haven't ever seen it.
Yeah, you should look it up. The guy we train with, his name's Ty Lathan. Super cool dude. He
Okay.
shows us wrestling. We show him jujitsu. So we still get to train during like the times when
Yeah.
you're not supposed to train and
Right.
everything. And we did that for like a couple of years. And
But
then
like your place was like not open it during the time
nope, nope,
for a little
not
bit.
open during the COVID time and
Yeah.
everything. It just wasn't financially possible to keep it going in a small town and stuff, like with the COVID shutdowns and everything. So we're training in Ty's garage, and it's like
Okay.
a 10 by 10 mat space, and we're just learning jujitsu and keeping going. We're purple belts at the time, and then in 2022, I'm like, let's go visit one of my friends that we know up in Wisconsin. It was a guy named Joe. I had made gear for his gym because one of the jobs I do is I like help small gyms and make like custom rash guards and patches and everything for them.
Yeah.
So I made gear for Joe, and we're like, let's go visit Joe. He's kind of like us, like the whole journey. We like the same type of thing. We're not too much instructors, like gonna like have your own gym, teach people just to keep it going. And while we're there, Joe surprises us and gives us our brown belts. And it's like,
Nice.
oh. And I mean, at this time, we thought we were never going to be brown belts because we were white belt for 4 years, blue belt for 5 years, purple belt for 6 years.
Okay.
And then we finally get our brown belt. And it's like super exciting. And then my kids are now like full blown wrestling. They're not doing too much jujitsu. We do jujitsu, they wrestle. And so we're
Okay.
driving like all over the state for these.
How old are they now? Or were at that time? At that time.
They're 8, 9, 10 years old, little
Got it.
still. Yeah. So we take them to like a different like wrestling clubs and stuff.
Mm,
And so they go wrestle and then we have to sit and wait and there's like nothing to do. So you're sitting there the whole time, just
yeah.
waiting for these to get done. And then one of the headquarters of the satellite clubs that my kids were training at was like opening up a jujitsu gym. So they'd have wrestling and jujitsu at their same place.
Got
And
it.
we're like, well, we're already driving a couple hours, a couple times a week for the kids. Why don't we just go over to the headquarters of this place and train? We'll train jujitsu and they'll train wrestling. And then it's like, boom. And so this is 2023. And at the time, all they had was like a purple belt there. And we're brown belts. Didn't really matter. I just want to get some rolls in. I'm tired of like just not getting to do anything.
Yeah.
And later in the 2023, it turns out that the purple belt he also coached wrestling, so he had some conflicts to where he couldn't come in and coach. So my husband started coaching the jiu-jitsu at this place. So from 2023 to 2025, we would drive over to St. Louis 2 times a week. So we'd leave the house at like 2 o'clock, get back at
Really?
11 o'clock at night. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, but getting back at 11
At
at
night.
night. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Coaching
So with the
kids
kids too, of
wrestling.
course, right?
Yep,
Because they're
yep,
going,
yep. They're
yeah,
all
to
the
the
wrestling
wrestling.
and everything. And then, we're still trying to bring Mike out to come once a year. And once he came out, he's like, I think you guys are almost ready for your like black belts. And when we got him to come out in 2024, he ended up giving us our black belt. And at that time, we're still living in Callio, driving. And we're like, man, I'm just like tired of all this driving. It is exhausting.
Yeah.
And the construction guy that my husband works with, he has a shop in Bevier, which is where we're at now. And they were still building it. And he was building a little loft area. And he's like joking around. And he's like, oh, do you think Hannah would want to coach jujitsu out of this? And Brandon's like, I don't know. And he's like, he just came home and he's like, hey, Dylan said that if you want to teach jujitsu up in this loft area, you can. I was like, is he serious? And he's like, I guess. He's like, message him. And so I messaged him and he's like, yeah, I'm serious. So that's kind of how we wound up where we're at. And when I'm in like loft area, my mat space is 11 feet wide and 35 feet long. And I have probably about a 8 foot by 11 foot waiting area. So it's
Okay.
like tiny. It's tiny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Wow.
that's kind of how we
If you can
got
make
to
it
this.
happen, right? You can make
Yeah.
it work, right? Yeah. About how many people like total do you have on the mat at once?
The most I've ever had in my kids' class was 18.
Okay. Okay.
At one time, and it was snug. And then probably the most I fit adult wise is like 12, and that's pushing it. But
Cool.
like when we started last year, because we opened the gym in April of 2025, I think for like the first 2 weeks, I had like one guy, one adult,
Mm,
and so he's pretty much getting private lessons.
okay.
And then I slowly started getting kids in, and now flash forward to a year and a half we've been open. I have over 50 people training at our gym. So slowly
Awesome.
working
Awesome.
working to grow. But
How if you like kind of looking back on all that, what would you like to like thank jujitsu for? What would you like to thank for what it's done for your life, that kind of thing?
I think jujitsu is probably like shown me just how to like be resilient because like bad stuff happens in life. You can't give up. And there's so many times that I'm like, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna quit jujitsu. It's so hard. I have to drive. I don't get to like
Oh,
train the way I want. But it's also shown me to where like if you want something, you're gonna have to, and you don't have it, you're gonna have to go and create it because like what I wanted wasn't happening. So I just
yeah.
make it and bring it and share it with people.
Yeah. I think the older we get, we keep learning over and over that like almost nothing is on a straight and narrow path. It's always
Yeah.
like, jagged, right? And so if a parent comes to you and asks you, what can jujitsu do for my kids, what do you usually say? What's the general answer for that?
I tell them that, if you stick it out, jujitsu will change your kid. And I know like a lot of parents like they want like fast results and stuff like that, but I've got kids who started with us and like I'll use them as examples. I have a kid who came in and he was scared first day. I didn't think he was going to come back. And he's a
Okay.
completely different kid today. And I've
Really?
got another kid who came in and he had low confidence and he was getting picked on. And like this kid, I wouldn't day one and today, completely different. Jujitsu will change your kids for the better. But we just tell the parents you have to be patient. You
Mhm.
just have to trust the process and be patient.
Can you tell me about the culture there? What kind of culture has been created there? What is it like at the gym? Why do people love it?
So I feel like our gym is super laid back. I've had people come in and they like come and train and they'll go visit and they'll be like different gyms there on vacation and they'll go visit somebody and they're like, you guys are not like what other gyms I visited.
Okay.
And Mike, when you come in, there's no pictures of any jujitsu person on the wall. There's no helio, no nothing. We don't bow in. We don't line everybody up by rank. I mean, like it's nobody calls us. I mean, I get the kids that call me coach, but nobody's like coach, professor. We're just kind of like coming together to learn
Yeah.
and like nobody's scared to ask questions. It's like you can pick who you want to roll with. You can ask me whatever questions you want to ask me and I'll answer it to the best. Cause like I got some of the adults have now started watching Instagram and they're like, oh, can you show me how to do this? I'm like, I
Oh,
can
really? Okay.
try, but I feel like it's just like really laid back and it's kind of like everybody's here. Just they feel comfortable here. It's not like
Okay.
you're not being judged as anything less because you're a white belt. And I shouldn't be held like on some pedestal because I'm a black belt. It's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
I know more than you and I'm going to help you.
Is that
It's
something you wanted to, create, when you first started the academy? Was that in your mind, or is that something
yeah.
that just became?
Yeah, no, it's always been like how me and my husband
Is
we're
that
like
your
when we did
personalities?
taekwondo. Yeah, same personalities and like when we did taekwondo, there was bowing and like if somebody comes in and they bow, I'm not going to like be like no, we don't bow here. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
be like you do what you want. If you feel like comfortable bowing, that's fine. We don't bow, we don't line up. You're not separated out by rank to feel like some poor little measly white belt. It's like
Okay.
we just come in, learn, ask questions, and
Yeah.
hopefully
Why do
people.
you think that kind of helps the culture? What do you think that does for the culture? What
I
what
think it
benefits does
just
that
kind of
bring?
like
Yeah.
makes people feel more like wanted, like
Hmm.
they feel like not
There's no
scared, and
barrier.
yeah, is and everything. And then when we like were coming up with the name, I told my husband, I'm like, I don't want it to say jujitsu because I feel like when people say jujitsu, they say like it's formal and it's like certain things are expected. And I was
Mm.
like, I just wanted to say like
Okay.
Black Diamond Grappling Club because yeah, we've got jujitsu, but we've got wrestling. And if I see something else,
Uh,
that work, I'm gonna pull it in. Most of the times you will see like there's no like you're a white belt, you can't do this technique. You'll see people in here wrist locking,
okay.
doing foot locks. I mean, I tell them so long as you're being safe and respectful to your partner, I don't really care what submissions you're attempting because you're going to need it at some point. So
Mm.
just learn it.
Do you think that laid back atmosphere helps like kind of birth like relationships better, amongst the people who go there?
Yeah, I think um, I feel like
Friendships, Yeah.
you could tell like how the culture is based on when the class ends. Like, does the
Mm.
people just grab their shoes, grab their bag, and ditch and head out the
Yeah.
door, or
Right.
are they hanging around sitting? And I've noticed like my after my adults class, everybody just sits around and they probably hang out for an extra 15 minutes just chatting with each other about jujitsu or whatever they want to chat about. So
Yeah. To wrap it up, what would you like to tell everybody there? Would you like to give them a little message, the people who go there at the academy?
for the people who go to the academy, I definitely appreciate everybody who comes and I appreciate all the parents who like trust us with their kids, and I appreciate all the people who come and want to learn jujitsu from us. If anybody is like thinking about doing jujitsu, I feel like, just reach out and give it a try. Most common thing I hear from people is I'm not in shape, or I don't I don't know anything, so maybe I won't be good at it. And like I tell everybody, I'm like, you're a new person. We don't expect you to be good at it. We'll
Yeah,
show you what you need. And then probably the only other unique thing I would say is that in my teens and adult fundamentals class, we allow women to train for free. We don't charge
got it.
women and teenagers to come and train because we want to have more women in the class. So we let the teens and women's in that class come train for free.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much. I think one other question that I wanted to ask is, do you think, that laid back atmosphere helps you grow as an instructor as well? Do you feel that?
I do. I feel like, for me, like I'm laid back, so I don't feel like compelled to teach like one system like that somebody shows me. Like I don't have like an instructor on the day-to-day basis saying you need to teach it like this. I'm going to learn. Like I spend a lot of time like just watching instructionals and studying, and I'll just learn and learn and learn, and I just want to share it with everybody. And then I think it helps me grow because when the students have like a question and maybe I don't know, like they just come ask me and I'll do my best to find an answer for them. Whereas
Yeah,
like if they were too scared, if it was like very strict and they were too scared to ask me a question, maybe it would hinder my growth because they
yeah,
wouldn't ask the question and I wouldn't search out an answer so I could give it to them.
yeah. Probably breeds like more learning on your end.
Yeah.
eh, Right? Yeah, right. Cool. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your cool story, Hannah.
Yeah,
Can
no
you tell
problem.
everybody your socials?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook and Instagram, and it's Black Diamond Grappling. We're on Google, Black Diamond Grappling Club, and if you want to look us up, our website is bevierjujitsu.com.
Cool. Well, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
sharing everything. I know it's going to do some good. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, Hannah? Thank you.
Thank-
All right. Take care.
Yep. Bye.
What's up, man? How's it going today?
Oh, doing great, doing great. How are you doing?
I'm awesome, man. I just got back a half an hour ago from a kid's birthday party at a bowling alley. It's just chaos, I got my 9-year-old son. He's fine. You go play with your friends. But my 3-year-old daughter's just everywhere, and I have to watch her like crazy. Don't pinch your fingers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm doing good today, man.
Yeah, you got to
Thank
keep
you.
your eyes
How's
on
your
them
day
or they'll
going?
run away from you. So
What'd you say?
you have to keep your eyes on them or they just run away and they get away from you. So,
Man, 1,000%. That's how my daughter is. She's way different than my son. How's your day going so far?
oh, it's going pretty good. I actually just got back in from Florida. Took some kids to Kids Pans, IBJJF Kids Pans. It was a fun trip, man. They got to learn a lot of stuff. It's the first time they ever got to compete on that level.
What does PANS mean? What does that mean?
It's Pan Am's. It's like it's the biggest kids tournament in the world, but also they have the adult version, which is like the second biggest tournament in the world for adults as well. IBJJF is the head organization that owns that. The exact meaning of what the name
Got it.
means, I don't know. But
Yeah, but that's what it is.
yeah, that's what it is.
Sometimes I hear that. Yeah, PANS. Okay. Can you tell everybody your first and last name? Tell us the name of the academy and tell us the city that you guys are in, and we'll talk about what you guys offer there.
Yeah, so my name is Josh Baker. I own Baker's Jiu-Jitsu in St. Francisville, Louisiana. We offer Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu adult and kids classes, as well as kids freestyle wrestling and kickboxing.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So, I mean, let me ask you this. What do you feel like, wrestling, um, are you implementing that into the jujitsu instruction? That would be my next question. I kind of break this stuff down a little bit. I want people to understand exactly what that entails when you hear that there's different martial arts in an academy. Are you implementing the wrestling into the jiu-jitsu class, or is it completely different, not related at all?
No, it's completely different, not related. We have wrestling is a different format of grappling versus jiu-jitsu. Uh, wrestling wrestling techniques can translate over into jiu-jitsu, but we have it separate because we want to offer more sport opportunities for kids.
Got it, got it. And what about did you say kickboxing, right? You said kickboxing.
Yes, sir.
Um, does anybody fight in MMA competitions and or fights and train there and they're only training kickboxing or only training wrestling or jujitsu? Do you understand my question? Like, it's not an MMA class. So my question is, do you have any MMA fighters that are actually taking those classes? Does
No,
that
we
make
don't have
sense?
any. Yes, sir. We don't have any MMA fighters exactly yet. We have a couple guys that are interested in it. But I tell people if you want to do MMA, you need to train all three, and then uh, let's say like after a jiu-jitsu class, we'll work on actually mixing all of them together.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. Does that ever happen? Like, an MMA fighter only training jujitsu at a jujitsu academy, or only training, kickboxing somewhere, um, and maybe also taking an MMA class somewhere else, like training MMA somewhere else. Does that ever happen? Have you ever heard of that? Maybe that's an even better question. That's where I
Yeah.
was getting at.
Oh yeah, so I
Yeah.
know some guys that like majority of the guys who do MMA down here are coming from a jiu-jitsu gym. There are some guys that are coming out of a boxing gym, but
Okay.
those boxing classes are offering like jiu-jitsu classes on the side and stuff. They kind of help their fighters out. So it's because when you do MMA, you need to be able to do uh striking, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. You need all three.
Hmm.
So uh some people lean a little bit more heavily into the striking versus some guys lean a little bit more heavily into like jujitsu or the wrestling. It just really depends on what school you're coming from.
Right. Um, what is your kind of like your overall philosophy on teaching jujitsu or methodology? How you teach it, how you go about it. Do you have a kind of any bit of a uniqueness there in that?
So our style of jujitsu is very controlled based. I'm very, very big on control. Some gyms are very submission heavy. They're all submission hunter where they're just go, 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 go and try to catch a submission. I really like to
Got
slow
it.
it down, and we really focus on trying to control. And if the submission presents itself, then we take the submission. Because I think
Okay.
the number one thing that is very, very important that makes jujitsu unique is being able to control somebody for long periods of time.
Yeah. So like what you see in like a lot of some YouTube viral vids of somebody just controlling somebody until somebody else arrives. Is that where you're getting at? That happens often. Um, yeah, yeah. Maybe like controlling is even more valuable than submission in real life.
Yeah,
Maybe it could be.
yeah, I would agree with that. Um, Yeah, control I think is just the most important thing, and I think that should be, especially when you get started in jujitsu, you should be focusing on the control base. Now not to say like if the submission does present itself, like I say, it you absolutely take the submission, but I'm not going to go out of my way to take one and potentially end up losing my good position going for a bad submission.
Oh, I understand. I understand. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. At the very least, it's like in your opinion, the base that you should start out of is like focusing more on control.
Mhm.
Yeah, and not risking too much with submissions that might not be there. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Can you tell me just, go back as far back as you want and let us know how you got into jujitsu and, just tell us the whole story of like all the way from the beginning till now, how it's all gone.
Yeah, so I started jujitsu when I was 14 years old, and I remember we were coming back from my brother's baseball game, and we stopped at an ice cream shop, and there was a jujitsu gym next door. And
Okay.
their class has ended and all that, but the coach stayed actually a little longer and showed us two positions. He showed me us a side control, and then he showed us a rear naked choke. And then after that, I was hooked. And then ever since
Okay.
then, I've just done jujitsu for like the last 10 years.
What was it kind of like surprising to you? What, those moves? Was there something surprising about it? Had you have never watched jujitsu before or didn't know much about it? Or, what were your feelings when that happened? What kind of hooked you?
Mm, I just really like the idea that because I'm a smaller dude, like I'm 145 pounds, and I just really like the idea that a smaller guy can actually go out and beat somebody that's bigger with them, and it's all based on leverage and technique.
Yeah, yeah. Right, 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 right. Yeah, I'm 5'6", so same thing here, right? Uh my brother actually he wrestled in high school and he was always I'm going to get the I think the 120 or something in high school. More now, but like in high school I think it's like 120 something. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. So like how did it progress from there? Like was it you and your brother or like started classes or just you or
Yeah, so we actually both started at the same time, but I was a little too big for the kids class, so I got bumped immediately up to adult. So I was like 14 years old,
um
going with 35-year-old grown men. He got to stay in the
yeah.
kids class for a little bit longer. So.
Okay, okay. And then like was it the kind of the same concept that kept you keep go made you keep going like you're trying to figure out how to I guess that helped like going up against older guys, right?
Mhm.
Of course they're bigger, being that much older. Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of helped like go with the concept of what you were interested in, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
A 14-year-old, like as a 14-year-old, you don't have the strength as a fully grown man. So you have to rely
Yeah, it
even
don't
more
matter.
on the techniques to actually work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right, right, right.
of course, a little bit then I was a little bit more spastic. So, now I'm a little bit I'm way more controlled now.
And how old are you now?
I'm 24.
Okay, so there's 10 years has gone by.
Yes,
So
sir.
when did you start like teaching
So,
like
about
in
a
any
year,
class?
yeah. So about a year in, once, once I got my blue belt, my coach at the time actually started, kind of let me help out with the kids classes and stuff, or using me for the demonstration. So like almost my whole career, I've been, teaching
Mhm.
and at least helping, or have been around teaching and kind of understood the concept of teaching. But I didn't really like decide to sit down and learn about it and like open a gym until I actually switched to my current coach's gym, Professor Nathan Lott. He has really helped me a whole lot with learning the business side and learning how to coach and how to communicate with people.
Right, right, right. Yeah, he's a good guy. I talked to him. And is 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 he kind of like the one that sparked the idea of owning a gym, or you went to him about that, or how did that come about?
No, so actually it was my dad's idea. So
Oh, really? Okay.
when I was 15,
Tell me.
yeah, so when I was 15, he I made a little comment that it would be cool to open a gym one day. Well, anyway, years goes by, and now I'm 18 years old, and I was actually about to join the military. I was going to join the army, and all I had to do was just sign the dotted line. And I remember, like a few days before, my dad told me, he says, "You remember that time you wanted to open a gym?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember that." And I was a blue belt then, and I went to my coach, Professor Nathan, and I told him, say, I would like to open a gym. And he's like, all right, well, let me show you the ropes then. And he just kind of took me under his wing and kind of just showed me, like I said, the business side, and all that fun stuff.
And now he did that in like one day or like over,
No, no,
you know
this
what
was
I'm
over
saying?
a
Like,
few years, until
so,
I got,
so what I'm getting at is like, how many days out were you till signing the dotted line?
Well, I
Like
passed the
a few days?
ASVAB, and
Yeah.
I literally needed to sign it. Like they were trying to get me to sign it that week.
Yeah, yeah. That's a crazy story, dude.
Yeah.
And you did not do it because you decided to go that route, or was there other reasons why you did not do that? I mean, was it just kind of like replacing that with that?
No, I just my faith is really, really important to me. I wouldn't be where I am today without Jesus, and I just really feel like He was telling me, "Don't go do that. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
go,
I
go,
know the feeling. Yeah.
yeah, go open a gym instead." And it's worked out great because now I actually have a platform to invest into the next generation.
Yep.
Where if I joined the
Yep.
military, I wouldn't have done that or been able to do that.
Right, 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 right. And I think like being so young, owning a gym, that you bring a uniqueness to it, right?
Mhm.
Whatever that uniqueness may be, but there comes, there's a uniqueness in being young, and I don't know if it would be energy or what, but so I mean, you are the youngest that I've talked to that owns a gym. So congrats to that, and then congrats
Thank
on following your faith and yeah, doing what you really think you needed to do for your life. Yeah, I mean, that's a big decision, man.
you.
Um, I guess it's probably a little easier going that route instead of the military, instead of the vice versa, going military instead of that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it would have been more of a harder, longer road if I did it the other way around.
So like, yeah, well, I mean, when you started, like, did you kind of have like, what was your kind of like your mission statement in your mind as far as like, what did you want to accomplish other than just teaching jujitsu? What was like your mission beyond, the actual training?
Uh,
Or did you
so
have one yet?
no,
Did you
I
have an
have one.
idea?
It, bec- I really like. I could already see a difference, and I know I'm still young, but I already could see a difference from how the kids are being raised now from when I was being raised. Uh,
Sure.
my parents raised me old school. Like I grew up with no TV on 14 acres with horses and
Okay.
cows. Like, so I joke with people, it's like I was raised like I was in the 80s. Like,
Okay.
yes, but just seeing the difference, just how kids aren't very active anymore, and uh, and I think because of that, their confidence is really, really low. And I think jujitsu is a very good platform, especially for young boys, because young boys they need outlets to because actually boys have more more testosterone than like a grown man does running through their veins. So
Okay. You're right.
I think
Okay.
so I giving them an outlet to actually roughhouse and actually use their physicality is I think very, very important.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I think jujitsu offers that in a good way, in a safe environment for them to be able to do that.
Was that kind of like a part of like your mission? I know you're getting to that.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I just want to give the kid give these kids really I want to give these kids confidence, especially in the world we're living in, and also
Yeah.
be a mentor to them and kind of really invest into them, not just like teaching them jujitsu, but also like and life lessons and all of it.
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
because I think jujitsu, there are a lot of things that jujitsu actually can relate back to life. So, like
Yeah.
when
Talk
you're
about
being
that for a minute. Like, what has it done for your life? What is it? How has it made an impact in your life? How has it been related to, real life stuff?
yeah. So one thing like jujitsu has definitely taught me is uh when you get put in certain situations, there's always an escape. You just have to find it. There's always a scenario.
Okay.
There's always a way out. Like so, when you get put in a bad position and you get stuck, it might take you a minute, but you can find the right move, the right technique to get out. And I think that's also kind of translates into life too. It doesn't matter your situation, doesn't matter uh all the pressure you have on you. It, are you going to be able to find the right move, the right technique to be able to get out of your situation?
Yeah. Yeah. So it teaches you to like keep that hope and keep that persistence going to
hmm
figure it out. Yeah, yeah.
And thinking about
It's
it
good to know.
smartly.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking about it technically as well.
Okay. Right, right, right. Oh, you know what? That's true. It's kind of like playing like a puzzle. Older people can play a puzzle and it actually does something to your mind. It keeps your
hmm
mind active. It's the same thing with math with kids. Why do we learn math? Oh, of course we're not going to use 99% of that stuff, but it helps you think analytically. And yeah, I mean that's what you mean by that.
Yes,
I'm sure there
exactly.
is actual chemical stuff happening when you're doing
hmm
jujitsu that changing your mind, and it's the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yes.
so tell me, why do people love the gym? Why do they keep coming back?
Well, first off, I think it's because all the kids there are actually friends and they live in the same neighborhood. So they go to school together, they go to jiu-jitsu together, they hang out on the weekends together. So we just really focus on a big community. We're very big on
Mm.
community and family. We really focus in on that. But also I think it's the mission that we have and everybody is on board with our mission. Our motto is we're using jujitsu to change people's lives. So I
Awesome,
think I
awesome.
think people really love that and really want want to help out and be a part of something that is gonna and change not just change their life but also change their kids' lives.
Have you had any parents, come to you and tell you thank you for, what jujitsu has done for their kids?
All the time. What
Yeah.
all the time.
What kind of stuff do they say?
Uh basically it's like look like man look my kid was not getting any good grades. And when they signed up for
Oh,
jujitsu their confidence changed and then the amount of time you're investing into not just teaching them jujitsu but actually talking to them and mentoring them. Now they're like getting straight A's. They're the absolute best kids. More kids want to hang around them now. I've also had people like think like just they just thank me for like oh man like I can see how this could they can use this to defend themselves. So thank you for even like teaching them how to do it. Because I don't sugarcoat it like I I try to keep it. We do a lot of rolling at my gym, so I try to keep it
mm.
as real as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and anyway, they just really, some of the parents really enjoyed that.
I've heard the grades thing a lot. Yeah, that's interesting. That means it's really affecting them. Yeah,
hmm
making an impact. Yeah. What do you think I don't know how to ask this, but like how many days a week do you think a kid should do jujitsu? Considering homework, considering a very busy life, that kind of thing. Let's
hmm
say it's more than one, but less than four. What is the is there a big difference between two and three? What do you, that's a good question there. I
Two to
think
three
that's
a
why I'm
week,
getting.
2 to 3 classes a week is what you're asking?
I think
Yeah,
most kids do either two or three. I
yeah.
think. Okay.
Uh, I, I say you could
And
get
what's
by
the
with,
biggest difference? Yeah, go ahead.
you could progress normally with like two. I say 2 a week is like about average normal. If you want them to be do a little bit more, and progress a little bit faster, I say about 3 to 4 times a week.
Hmm. And do you think that two is enough for it to like impact their daily lives, that kind of thing, impact their grades, that kind of thing? Do you think two is enough? Let's not even talk about one. Let's talk about two. Because again, I think that most people do could be
I,
four, but most people do two or three, right?
mhm.
It's the kids, the kids.
So I have seen some kids who will only come in like twice a week, and they're I have seen a huge impact in them, and I've seen some kids who come in like 3 to 4 times a week, and it's like not as much. It's
Mm,
just it really
yeah.
depends
Okay.
on the kid, and then how. I've always tried to be more personable with the kids, and always like uh talk to them, but it's also a two-way street. They have to kind of talk to you back and stuff. And some kids, it takes a little bit longer because they got their walls up. So it takes them a little bit longer for you to knock those walls down and be able to, before they can actually trust you. So
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, well, thank you, man, so much for your story, dude. Thank you so much for what you're doing for everybody there. What to wrap it up? Can you tell me what would you like to say to everybody that goes there? Any little message to them?
yeah, just thank you everybody. This is I think this is a really important thing that we're doing, and let's keep using jujitsu to change people's lives.
Awesome. You guys are on social media, right?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, man. Well, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll reach out again soon, buddy. I
All right,
hope you have an awesome day. Thank you again
all
for
right.
what you're doing there. I know you're making a big impact.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, see you, Josh. Bye
All
bye.
right, see you.